What's going on? What's going on, everybody? We are here with Words Taylor, but I would like to first of all welcome you to the Income Producing Assets Show. I am your host, Erwin Anderson, and here at Ander Enterprise, we choose to focus on achieving financial security through income producing assets. And today, we are here with the one and only Words Taylor.
Let's get it.
Taylor, yeah.
Let's go.
Cool. How you doing today, bro?
Man, feeling phenomenal. How about yourself?
Feeling phenomenal too, and truly blessed to have you. Bless the stage on the Income Producing Assets Show. I'm super excited to have you on.
Thank you, man.
Words Taylor is on recession proof, went through his course. He has a lot of great content on helping people scale webinars. So definitely, Words Taylor, can you tell us a little bit about you and how you started with your income producing assets?
Yeah, so again, like, you know, how I always start, I'm a believer, a husband, and a father. Those things are foundational in my life. But as far as like how I started with the income producing assets was my wife and I, we had a job. Like, so I had gotten this job where I was doing counseling services. And the job was paying me like $55,000 a year. This was when I was 24 years old. I was in college still at the time. And I'm like, man, $55,000 a year. School, why am I still in school? And so they were saying, look, hey, we would love to have you on board. We'll even give you a percentage of the office that you're going to open up for us. And I say, who was my wife now, but fiance at the time, said, if you pay her the same amount, I'll do it. So we're making $110,000 out of, she had already graduated. I'm still in college. I ended up leaving college at the time. And I was like, oh, I made it. At 24 years old. Now, of course, we know now $100,000 a year is just, that's not any money, right? It may be good money for some, but I'm like, to me, that was like $1 million. And what ended up happening is that the next year, the state made a mandate that in order for me to do the role that I was doing, I had to have a degree. And I was like, oh my God. So we had built that lifestyle on over 6-figure salary. And now that wasn't anymore. And so right then and there is when I knew that I wasn't self-sufficient. And, we had just had our daughter. And, I was really dependent on somebody else to provide for my family. We ended up losing our home. After losing our home, we were sleeping in a friend's basement and all those things. Like, it just went a down spiral. And from there, I was like, okay, I need to figure out how do I create income on my own. And I ended up invested into some courses and some trainings, and I learned about funnels and webinars and all of these things. And that's what I started to do to produce. I learned how to create products and all of that. And that's what I started to do to produce income for my family. I created 10 different products and I didn't get any sales on any of it. And finally, the 11th, I made $3,000 and I was like, okay, all right, I got something. And I started putting a strategy together to that. So it took me, and I did go back to school. I got my degree, but it took me losing on a high level. I'm not saying everybody has to go through losing on a high level in order to wake up, but it took that for me to wake up and stop putting my belief into a system that I didn't have control of.
Wow, that's super dope. That's super dope.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. I did not know all that. So
yeah.
So that really catapults you to really
Absolutely
create something incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. So can I ask you real quick, who is one person that had a major impact on your life?
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely my father. My father, single, he was a single parent, and one thing about him, he's the reason why I'm an entrepreneur today. So, in my childhood, I didn't see him work jobs. He was always one to go out and create his own income, be self-sufficient. And these are just key things that he's instilled into me all my life. I just remember even at like 9, 10 years old, he used to tell me, you're a millionaire, son. You know, you have to think like that. You have to move like that. You know, every time. And like if I would do something wrong or something like that, he's like, yo, you're a millionaire. You can't think like that. You can't think low like that, you know. And I just always had that mindset. And of course, my grandmother would be another, and then, you know, my wife as well. These are just people that have just always had my back through failure, through the rise, whatever. Like those three people have definitely been essential. So
Wow, man, that's good.
yeah.
Having your father speak that into life, you know, the power of words.
Yeah.
Words tell.
Yeah.
Super dope, super dope.
Yeah.
So your main, you said your main income producing asset is what again?
So what I do is I develop my 3D launch strategy, where I help other entrepreneurs be able to that have products and services, service-based, whatever. I help them be able to now get consistent customers and create predictable revenue. So I was able to figure out how to create my own products and sell them. And then what happens is that started going well. And I joined other programs, and I was joining other programs, and I started teaching the people in those programs what I do. One of those programs being Eric Thomas' program, Extreme Execution. And so I started teaching them, like, look, this is how you build a funnel. This is the steps you want to take people through. This is how you pitch them. This is how you sell it. This is all of these things. And so finally, ET's COO reached out to me and was like, hey, ET said he wants you to do a launch for him. So I was like, let's do it. You know, so I ended up doing a launch for ET, and you know, we ended up doing 7 figures for the launch. And then came people like Dave Shands and Him 500, and you know, Support Black College with Corey and Justin, and all, like, other people started coming after that. So my main thing was teaching people how to launch in order to get more revenue, get more customers and more revenue in their business.
Wow, that's super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Those are definitely some heavy hitters. So you have the secret sauce on you behind, you know, them making them 7 figures and the funnels.
Absolutely. And it's not, so like you'll understand that it's not necessarily, the funnel is just an aspect of it's like a vehicle. It's a part of the entire process. But what people fail to think of is like, how do I even attract a customer? Like, so we start off with, oh, I want to know my colors and my logo and my website and my URL, and all of those things are great. But what's most important is, do you know who you're actually serving? And do you know their pain? And do you have the right solution to relieve them of that pain? Okay, now you have all of that. Do you know how to get in front of those people and how to get them attracted to you and get them to see you as the go-to person? There's where the real work comes in. Me getting you to click a link is the easy part. Once I know how to attract you and get you in front of me, like that's not the hard part. You're gonna click the link because I told you at that link, the solution is in the link. but I have to know that I have the right solution, that I have the right person, that I've done market research. The things that people skip, that's the things that we have to start really getting people educated in. And that's what I focus on.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So with all that, helping these people, I'm pretty sure um, you're setting people up, helping entrepreneurs scale up. So, how do you balance all that with your family and having minimum amounts of time?
Yeah. No, it's good, man. Boundaries are a key thing for me. So, like, for instance, I'll tell you my schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the only days I actually work. I only work on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays is why I guess I work on Mondays, but Mondays is just my way of setting. It's all about me. Like, I set myself up for the week. So I'm just preparing. Let me see my schedule. Let me see who I'm meeting with. Let me see where the team is. So I'm not having contact with people, but it's just all about me setting myself up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm actively now with my community, doing meetings, podcasts, whatever. Friday is all about wifey. So I'm doing date nights, things like that. And it's sacred. So even if let's say somebody wanted to book me for a speaking gig, even if they said, oh, we're gonna pay you $50,000 to speak, I'm gonna submit that to my wife and I'm gonna say, look, this is what's happening. Do you wanna give up your date night, or what are you thinking? And this is a boundary. This is a clear boundary. If she's like, man, babe, I was really looking forward to this. Can you ask him to move? Can you ask him to do it another day? Cool. That's what's gonna happen, because that's sacred. Saturdays is my family day. So Saturday I spend the whole day with the family. Now, if I'm out of town there, I'll rearrange my day to like a Sunday or something like that. But I always do. My wife gets a day. My kids gets a day with me. Of course, they see me throughout the day as well, but they're gonna get a day. So I'm very intentional about that. With my community, they know that, hey, if you have questions, I'm gonna answer questions between 10 a.m. and 11:30. Like, those are my office hours to answer questions. I'm gonna get in there, answer. 11:30, sometimes 12, I'm off. And then you'll see me again, the next day. So it's all about, for me, just setting those boundaries. 3:30, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every 3:30, I'm out. I'm no longer in the office. So I'm now trying to wind down with my kids, with my family, give them their time, all of those things. So it's just a matter of me not getting it to a point where I tell my family, this is for you, so I have to sacrifice you to get this thing that I said is for you. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna make them the primary, and then I'm gonna try to fit everything else in between there. Like,
Wow.
and I gotta set a boundary to it, and to make sure I don't compromise that. Yeah.
So clear boundaries and sacred time to where, like,
Yeah,
I
has to
mean,
be. Yeah,
that,
has
that's
to be.
super, that's super dope. So you balance your other stuff around your family time.
Oh, I have to. Like, the reason why everything starts at 9 a.m. Like, so I don't start anything before 10 a.m. Because at 7 a.m. I'm getting up. I have a call with my team or whatever, make sure they're good to go. But at 7:30, I'm cooking breakfast for my kids. So 7:30, I'm cooking breakfast for my kids. After that, by 8 o'clock, I'm now working out, getting my workout on. So 9, I'm in that, and then that's over about 9. I have an hour to get myself cleaned up, and now I start my day at 10. So yes, it's about clear boundaries of what's important. And most entrepreneurs, I had the same mindset of like, I gotta grind. And it's like, nah, think about it like this. You can work a 12-hour day, but in your 12 hours, if you stop to check your phone every 10 minutes, and then that snatches you away for 30 minutes, you really only work maybe 3 hours that day, or 4 hours. So if I'm going in from 10 to 2 or 3 or whatever, I'm getting solid. There's room for me to say, all right, my kids get the first 4 hours of my day, or my family gets the first 4 hours. Because then when I start working, there's nothing that's pulling me away, because I gave them their time. I don't feel guilty. Now I can lock in for the 4 or 5 hours. I can do more in 4 hours, right, than that person that's sitting there for 12 hours is thinking they're doing. Because you really been distracted for 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? So now with me, like I'm gonna lock in that 4 hours. I'm locking in and I'm getting stuff done. So I have to set clear boundaries.
Wow. So does that mean that's good? That's good. So that clear boundaries and focused on, okay, like these 4 hours are business, this is family, and that's sacred. Are you like turning your phone off? You say your team knows the boundaries. Like, how's that work? I'm just, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, so with my community, the things are still on. The only time I turn my stuff off on like airplane mode or something like that, I do like these 90-minute sprints. So I'll go in 90 minutes. I'll even tell my wife, like, yo, I'm going into my 90-minute uninterrupted time, just in case you need to contact me. I'm not answering, so you're not freaking out. And in that 90 minutes, I'll write down, here's what I want to get done in 90 minutes. Write that down, and then I start the timer. I dig in for 90 minutes, no checking anything, no answering emails, no. So then I will turn all of my notifications off, because I don't want to be disrupted during this time. In 90 minutes, I can get like 3 hours worth of work done. And then I'm gonna come out of that 90 minutes, take me a little break. I've earned myself a good hour to just, I might go on my phone and scroll or eat or whatever. And then after that, I do another 90 minutes. So my goal is, which is why I do like 10 to 3, my goal is to get 2 in. If I could fit 3 90-minute sessions in, oh, it's over. It's over. If I get 4.5 hours, like I said, that 4 hours, that 4.5 hours of just fire, oh, it's over. I in that 4.5 hours, it would feel like I put in a 12-hour day. It will, because it's no fluff. It's all straight work, execution, get it done.
Wow,
Right?
that's super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So when you're not in those in that time frame, is your team, you said your team, like what's your team? Who are they? And are they like doing it when you're not around?
Yeah. So so the team is still functioning. Like, so if there's questions in the community that comes in that time, they're gonna answer them. So like um our team looks like we have our copywriter, right? Which is Candace, who's incredible. So all messaging, things like that, she's handling those things, making sure any correspondence of what we're seeing that's going out, any communication at that level is going out to them properly. So all of those things are going out, right? Then we have our community engagement leader, who in the community, any questions that they're having, like, hey, I missed the I need to get the replay, and all those community engagement leaders handling that. We have our retention customer service, who gives calls. So like if we have new members coming in, you're getting a call. If you get a declined card, you're getting a call. If you're behind on your work and if we're all in week 6 and you're on week 2, you're getting a call. And then there's my assistant, and then also have my videographer, graphic designer, and then my wife, who handles all things administratively. So she handles the legal side. She meets with the lawyers, the CFO, and the bookkeeping, and all of those things. So all things that keep the business safe and functioning, she handles those things, and that's the whole squad.
Right, man, that's super dope. That everybody needs to hear that. Like you
Yeah.
got the team, the right people in the right places. Each person
Yeah.
have their own expertise, and it's running
Yeah.
like a well-oiled machine. But
Absolutely.
everybody knows their role in some type of system. So the
Yep.
community how they're answering calls. So man, that's definitely phenomenal for sure. The
Yeah,
discipline, focus, time is sacred. Definitely all nuggets that can help everybody out there. For sure,
absolutely,
for sure.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
So right now, we're going to go ahead and switch to the Ander coaching call, and this is basically the how-to part of the show. During this
Okay,
portion of the interview, we're going to ask the listeners, or our listeners can receive expert advice,
let's
from a
get it.
professional like you to creating a sustainable business,
Mhm.
which you deal with a lot of business people and help them create sustainable businesses, as you mentioned, him 500, David Shands and Eric Thomas, and many other successful entrepreneurs. So we're going to go ahead and get to the questions, just answer them to the best of your ability, 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next question. It's kind of like the lightning round.
Oh, okay, lightning. Okay, you got to put that out there so I know to be quick. All right.
Cool, cool. So the first one is, if you had to go back into time and start over, what would you do differently, or how would you tweak some things in your business?
First thing I would do, I would not focus on making money the first time, because I learned that me focusing on making money, it also forces you sometimes to compromise some of the things that you're doing because you're trying to just make money. So what I would do instead would, I would make sure I knew the right audience, make sure I knew the problem I want to solve, make sure I had a great solution, and then I would build a community around that. So I would just take time. I would spend, and I do this in my launching now, but I would spend 4 to 6 months. I don't even care if it's a year, not selling anything and just building an audience around it. I want to build up my email community. I want to build up my tech squad. I want to build up my following, or a private group. I want, before I release something, if I can have five to 10,000 people that are just my audience to release to it, that I can get to them with one single text or email, that's what I would want. And then I would go from there.
Man, that's a major, major gem. And I
Yeah.
kind of see that with like David Shan, Sleep with the Suckers, and also EYL.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, they built a massive audience. Shans is great at that. He had the t-shirts, but Shans what didn't have a bunch of products and services and all that stuff at the time. He was building a massive audience, and now he's able to produce whatever and give the audience, based on what they need. He's able to create based on that because he has an audience to go to and chime into. So yeah.
Right, right. It's super dope,
Yeah,
man. That's
yeah,
definitely a major nugget.
yeah, yeah,
Knowing your audience and catering to them and
yep,
building all of that first, man. Definitely very valuable nuggets that you're dropping here. All right, so the next one, if a person had, a full-time job or very limited amounts of time, what could they do, to start a business like yours?
yeah. That's what I was still telling them the same thing. So like, I built this thing. I was working because we had lost our home and stuff. So finally, I got a job. I was working a job from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then I had a part-time job, 3:30 to 11:30 p.m.
Sheesh.
And then I came home and worked on my business. My wife would tell you this, like I'll get home, wake her, like, babe, I'm home. She's like, okay, good. And she'll say, like, okay, you're gonna work on your business now. I'm like, yep. So I'll only do like 2 hours at that point so I can get some type of sleep. Which I still have these bags to this day that I'm trying to get on. And that was because of those things. So I would say again, sacred time is key. If you're truly serious about building your business, you don't need to quit your job yet. You need to prove to yourself that you can actually be dedicated to building a business. You have 2 to 3 hours in your day that you can spend and dedicate towards your business and start creating and producing income before you decide to leave. Because what's going to happen is if you're not using the time now to build your business, you're going to quit your job and still not use the time. It's not habit. The job is not in the way. It's your habits are in the way. So you get the right habits, then you're going to be able to produce.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I love this words telling, man. You dropping
Yeah.
so many
Let's
gems
go. Let's
that
go.
are very, very valuable. All right, cool. So my next question is, if someone was down to the last $100 and wanted to start a similar business to yours, how could they make money ASAP?
Yeah, so again, to start a group, let's say you want to start a group on Slack, Telegram, or Facebook, that's free. All these things are free to be able to do. To start a text message squad, okay, cool. You have there's some platforms that are free. I mean, free to even collect. I mean, email. So like to collect email, things like that, up to the first 200 people. So up to the first 200 people is still free. Like to build an audience is free. Like you keep your $100 to build an audience out is free. So my first thing is, before I even start selling to anyone, I'm gonna build up my first, let's say you want to build up your first 1,000 people. All right, that's free to do. Instagram, social media, is all of those things is free. You have a free group like a Telegram, very easy to do. Now you're building these things up. And then after you nurture them, right? So once they're on my list, I'm gonna continue to make sure to nurture. And then I'll ask them. I'll say, hey, look, I know you all are entrepreneurs that have service-based products. What are some problems that you're having, and what are some things that you want solved? Oh, we would love to have this solved. Okay, cool. I'm gonna create that. All right. It's free to pull out my camera on my video, on my phone. All right. If you look at my program, I have videos in there that I did on my phone. So it's free to do the videos on your phone and create it. If you know how to do it, cool. You can go create graphics and all that stuff and slides and all that in Canva, which is free. All right. And then you can position yourself to sell them the product. You have 1,000 people, you can create that whole course and have it be $1,000. And if you get, out of 1,000 people, you convert at 10%, that's $10,000. Let's say you even convert at 5% or whatever, you made $5,000 at that point for free, right? I didn't even need the $100. In this world, and this where we are now, stop making money the barrier. Money is not the barrier. It's your effort, it's your habit. Because you can do everything I just said for absolutely free.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the best response we done had to that.
That's it.
That was dope. Absolutely, man. Words telling, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah.
Definitely blessing us and all the listeners out there. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. But real quick, what is a great, business or personal development book that you can recommend to the listeners out there?
Oh man. So there's a few, like The Big Leap was one. I love Outliers, which was phenomenal. Yeah. Oh, you Malcolm Gladwell, you a fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is great. And two sneakers that really got me on some mindset stuff. Will Smith's book. Will.
I keep hearing that. You probably like the seventh person that said that book was fire.
Oh my goodness.
And that reaction right there. Same reaction.
Yes. Yeah. That thing right there had me. I could not. That was the only book where immediately I was up, because I listened to the audio and it's actually him doing the audio of the book. That was the only book where I was irritated that it was ending. So I started it again. I did not want, I remember I was listening to it every day and I stopped listening to it every day because I was getting to the last chapters and I did not want the book to end. It's incredible. And then another one that caught me was my man Jason Wilson. I think it's called War Cry. And he's a martial arts dude. He went viral, but he really talked about being a comprehensive man. It was more so for the men, and just not having to feel like you have to be a hyper masculine type of man that always, the ego is always flared up and things like that. So those are the type of books I read. Like it's incredible. But The Will, that was a sneaker.
Absolutely. Definitely some true game right there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Words Telling, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, 5 years. So our goal is we want 2,500 dream builders under our belt, all 6 or 7 figure entrepreneurs. My wife at that time, actually by year 3, she wants to do live abroad for a year. So we're looking at goodness, where is she? I can't. Oh, Spain. So we're looking at moving to. Yeah, she wants to move to Spain for a year. So we actually have a meeting today with a bilingual Spanish teacher. So we can start the process today to become bilingual in Spanish. So by year 3, in the next 3 years, we'll go there and our entire family will be able to speak the language and all that stuff. So I'm excited about that. We will be at the point where my daughter's getting ready for high school, and just continuously helping people grow their businesses. Like their personal goals. Like I also want to have I have 2 best-selling books that hit Amazon, but I want a New York Times bestseller. So I want to do that by 2024, which was another goal that I have as well. And yeah, so that's, yeah.
Absolutely. I see you doing all those. You're well on your way.
Yeah, we want to
Dream Builder Nation in the house.
Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to the Dream Builders.
Cool, cool. All right. So how can the listeners get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can just follow me on Instagram at Words Taylor. Just check out some of the content, and there you'll start to get to know me. I'll teach, and we'll laugh, we'll have fun, all of those things. And then if you find yourself to the link in my bio, cool. If not, then just keep watching. You eventually will go there.
Absolutely. He definitely puts out some fire content. We'll have you laughing.
Yeah,
having a good time going through all your content.
Absolutely.
Definitely fire. Man, Words Taylor. Truly honored and blessed to have you on the stage. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day coming to the podcast. And once again, man, thank you very much, brother. And
appreciate you.
Thank you for coming out.
Appreciate you, man. Salute. All right.
All right.